All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Good Morning Xbox on the Iconic Video Games channel. I am your host, Axel1324.
And I am CoolCatTerri.
And I'm DREADPOOL.
That's right. And guys, we had a busy week for news. The FTC trial happened this week, so there's lots and lots and lots of Xbox news. But before we get started, let's check in with the Iconic chat here. We got Dark Zone 2525 says, too bad Sega said no, though. Oh, too bad Sega said no, though. Oh, yeah, about them wanting to be acquired. Yeah. And Back from the Dead one says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Back from the Dead. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. And Dark Zone 2525, you are also the real MVP. Shout out to my brother here, Doggy Dog 420. He says, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Doggy. Hopefully you have power now. Let us know if you do, because if you don't, I don't know, man. Let's start a fire. Jesse Darby says, good morning, Jesse Darby. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. Fastback NLG podcast joins us. He says, good morning, Xbox. Good morning, Fastback. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. OCD Gamer joins us. Thank you so much, OCD Gamer. You are also the real MVP. Let's see. Moving on. All right. And Doggy says, power is back.
Nice.
Nice. And guys, as always, guys and girls, be sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button. But the like button is really important. It really helps us get discovered, especially seeing as we are live. It helps us get recommended on the front page more, so forth and so on the live front pages, you know. So we really would appreciate that. And I'm sorry, I'm adjusting my temperature here because the computer's running. It is hot in here. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right. So the before we get into the news, Terry, what have you been playing this week?
I'm trying to remember what I was doing. I think I did a little bit of Diablo, but it's still mostly just been messing around with Way of the Hunter.
Yeah. All right. So some Diablo for Terry.
Yeah, little
what
Diablo.
about you? What have you been playing?
I don't want to admit it. Do I have to? Well, let's go with the latest thing. Obviously, I've been playing a couple here and there, but the latest one, last night, we were playing Fortnite with no builds. So
Fortnite no build mode. Okay.
Yeah, we had a couple community members playing together. Silent Cypher, Retri, myself, and another person. I can't remember who it was. They came in towards the end, but you know, have you guys ever heard of Maury Hollowell?
No.
Marvel artist.
No.
He does work for Marvel. He's working on the new Uncanny Avengers that's coming out. He was in my chat.
Oh, that's cool.
That's not awesome or not, right?
That is super awesome, actually.
The worst part is he's giving me pointers because I don't know how to play Fortnite that well. He's like, use this, do this. I'm like, okay.
You suck. Boo.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, next time you guys play, hit me up.
I will carry you. I will carry you.
He's like, I can't watch this. I gotta carry you.
That's hilarious. That is actually really funny. Oh man, I can't believe you sucked it up, DREADPOOL.
My
You
daughter
sucked it
came
up.
around. Yeah, Tiny Giant comes around the corner. She looks because the rule is no Fortnite in the house.
Uh-oh.
And she's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Get out of here."
What? Hold on. So you're telling me you're not setting a good example for your children?
I am. I'm playing with the community. I'm doing what everybody wants to do, falling into peer pressure of gaming, Fortnite.
Only the greatest game ever, right? Or so we think. I mean, they are very popular, so.
No,
But
it's a good game. It's everybody has their own opinions about games.
mhm.
Nothing's not for everybody. But again, it's playing with the community and streaming it out there to everybody. So
Yeah, that's what's most important is getting to play with your fans. Yeah, that is important. OCD Gamer says my part went out last week for a couple of days. Oh man, hopefully everything is good. Your Wicked Hunt says good morning, guys. Just woke up. Good morning, Your Wicked Hunt. Thank you so much for waking up. We appreciate you being here. Let's see. Oh, I wasn't playing Fortnite. I just saw Retri and DREADPOOL streaming, but yeah, I do play Fortnite sometimes. Yeah, I don't play Fortnite. There's no Fortnite in this house unless my nephew installs it. He plays it. But I don't. No, so this week I've been playing a lot of Diablo and some more Tears of the Kingdom. I'm trying to get through both of them. But on Diablo I want to do all the side quests, so all those little silver or blue exclamation marks that show up on the map. I want to go to them. And so I'm doing all the side quests. I'm like level 35 and I haven't even gotten past Act 1 yet. I'm just having a good time doing all the side quests because there are so many of them. It's like littered with side quests upon side quests. And then on Tears of the Kingdom, I'm just effing around and finding out like, what's this? What's that? I haven't uncovered the whole map yet. And then I found out there's an underground map that matches the overground map. And it's like, oh, you got to find the central forge to get this special item. So here's my dumb butt in the underground in the dark, throwing little light bulbs everywhere, trying to find this central forge. So it's I've spent a long time in the underground in Tears of the Kingdom. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I know some people may not like it, but I'm loving it. So yeah. That's what I've been playing. And of course, Diablo 4 on my Xbox with my friends. My poor controller just smashing that A button over and over, X, and just like smashing every button because every button is attached to a different spell. So yeah. What kind of build are you, Terry? What class are you playing in? Do you have a certain
Well,
build
I
you go
wanted
for?
to do something different because I normally always play Rogue. So this time I'm doing Druid.
Mhm.
And I hate it. I freaking hate it so much. But I didn't want to do Rogue because I've done it a billion times, and I am not interested in like Berserker, like big, like I don't like that kind of stuff. So like, there's literally no class for me in Diablo 4 outside of just being Rogue again, and I'm tired of being Rogue. So I'm disappointed. Like I really hate playing as Druid right now. I'm not having fun with it.
Yeah. So I am trying to main a druid, but man, talk about a terrible class to main. I got to tell you, the druid is very underpowered because I have like my level 35, 34 druid, and I can tell you I am as far along in the story and much quicker with a sorcerer than I am with the druid. Just pointing it out, the melee classes in Diablo are not good. Just not good at all.
Yeah, I don't know. The way that they have the game designed, I don't know why they even have melee type characters in this one because it just doesn't make sense.
Especially against bosses, because they have so much up close AoE. You got to stand in poison.
Yeah,
You
everything
can't
is
dodge.
range. Everything is range. So it's like, my druid is mostly all range, but it still doesn't do crap for damage compared to like my buddy's a sorcerer too, and it's like the sorcerer is like, really good, but sorcerers are usually always really good because it's magic and it's the cheese way to play. That's why I don't do a necromancer because that's like the cheesiest of the cheese way to play. So it's just I don't know. So it's just I don't know. I'm hoping they'll add some different classes that might interest me more because right now they don't have a class that's my play style outside of just doing the same crap I've done a billion times. I wanted something new.
You know, the thing that pisses me off about like druids compared to like hunters and mages is mages get mana naturally. Like it just goes up. You don't have to hit anything. As a druid, you must strike something point blank range to bring your spirit up. And guess what? You got to get up to point blank. Everybody who can poison you, everybody who can stun you, everybody who can one shot you. It's just not a good class. I hate to say it. I'm playing it, but I can tell you it's just not a good class. I finally built something that will help me with some AoE. I decided to get nothing but AoE style attacks. So at least I can kill the things that are surrounding me. And but yeah, the druid is not very good, not very survivable. I die. Like I'll go from full health with fortitude and extra barriers on to nothing in one hit if the right bad guy hits me. Especially if they crit hit me, you know. So yeah, that's just the Diablo is just not made for melee classes. Just saying. Anyways, enough complaining about that. Let's get to the show. So again, the FTC versus Microsoft case, or Microsoft versus FTC, whichever way you want to see it, came about, and one of the leaks, you know, as we all knew, we would get a lot of insight into the way the industry works in this case, into the way both the Xbox operates and the way their opponents operates. But some interesting things have come out that I think are worth some conversation. One of them is the massive list of developers and publishers that Xbox has considered purchasing. Now, do I think that they're going to buy all of these? Of course not. This is just them doing their due diligence, doing their research, you know, seeing if these studios would be a good list. Just because you're on this list doesn't mean that Xbox was going to go after you. But shout out to Idle Sloth for this. So, I mean, you have basically Asobo, who's making Flight Simulator, who I think they should acquire. You have the let's see Bungie was on there, but of course, from what I heard, Bungie wanted way too much, and Xbox wasn't willing to give it to them, so they passed up on Bungie. But PlayStation went all in on Bungie. CD Projekt Red, I wish they would have got them. By the way, if you see any of these studios that you think they should have gotten, let me know, guys. Especially you two, DREADPOOL and CoolCat. If you like any of these studios, let us know. Let's see over here on this side. Who do we have? No. Anybody I care about?
You already know one
that I would know about.
You already know one that I care about that isn't happening.
From
Sega.
software, right
Sega.
here. Sega, yeah. Sega.
And, you know, and that's the thing too, right? Sega Sammy was restructuring everything, and usually when you kind of know what I'm talking about when companies start restructuring and not letting you buy I don't know paper clips or pens because they're trying to look, you know, very profitable when they're doing that, so that way they can do a sale. And if they can actually figure out where the bleeding is, and sometimes they don't go for that sale because they've already restructured enough that now they're deciding to keep the business that they were restructuring for potential sale.
Right.
So I think that's kind of what happened there, that they were probably looking for it, and you know, they're like, look, you know, we have a good relationship here with Xbox and Microsoft that if we sell off, that's probably our money going. But if we're not making the money as we are with the relationship we're doing, we might have to sell off.
Yeah. Sega, you know, would be awesome get, in my opinion. They're one of my favorite companies in the world. I love a lot of their games. You know, everybody's like, oh, what's Sega got? Just Sonic, right? You obviously don't know what you're talking about if you haven't played Sega. If you think that they just have, just Sonic, right? No, they got Yakuza, Persona 5, Jesus, I don't know this one. Valkyria Chronicles, Virtual Fighter, of course, Total War series, which I love, Company of Heroes series, and the mobile Sakura Wars. And they have all these developers. They got Ragakai Studios or something like that is what it's called. Somebody help me out here. I think that's Ragakai.
I'll let you butcher it on your own.
Huh?
I'll let you butcher it on your own.
Right. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's Ragakai or something like that. Obviously, Atlas and they make Yakuza. Atlas makes Persona. I don't recognize this symbol. Obviously, Sonic Team makes Sonic. They got Amplitude 2 Point, who makes the 2 Point Hospital, 2 Point Campus series. Creative Assembly, who do their Total War, their real-time strategy. Relic Entertainment, who does Company of Heroes, their turn-based strategy games. And Hard Light, which is their mobile studio. And Sega does have a lot of franchises under them, obviously. And, let me see. List of Sega developers. Let me see if I can. All right, let's see. 2018 present. Oh my gosh, they just. All right, here we go. Rovio? They own Rovio? I didn't know that. The makers of Angry Birds? They bought Rovio? That's interesting.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Yes, they did.
Yeah, I did not see that. Oh, so they have more.
They have a lot of cell phone games out there.
Yeah, a lot of cell phone games apparently. Sports Interactive. That's what this one is. Sports Interactive. Okay. And they make the Football Manager and the Hockey series, right? Creative Assembly, obviously. Alien, Isolation, Total War series. Hard Light helps with some of their backlog, bringing some of their backlog up. Relic Entertainment does Age of Empires, Company of Heroes, Dawn of War, Atlas, of course, Shin Megami Tensei, Etrian Odyssey, and the Persona series. Amplitude, which does Endless Space, Endless Legend, and Humankind. 2 Point, who makes the 2 Point games, and Rovio obviously making Angry Birds. So yeah, the Sega has a lot to offer, and I would love for Xbox and Sega to enter at least into a long-term agreement of bringing stuff to Game Pass, because man, I would love to see them. But Sega says they're not for sale. Of course, they're going to say they're not for sale. You don't want to scare the investors away, right? Sega has to say they wasn't up for sale. To be honest, yeah, they had to say it.
Yeah.
Sega and Xbox makes sense and was working. What if this happens? Could we see a Sega X console? I doubt it. It wouldn't be a Sega X console. But
you guys have heard my joke. We're on the Dreamcast 5 right now.
Yeah, the Dreamcast 5. That would be something, right? And Sega did teach Microsoft how to get into the console business with the Dreamcast. So, yeah, you kind of are children of Sega if you're on Xbox. But yeah, I would love for Sega to come over because they have a lot of games that I enjoy. Now, I know these games aren't for everybody. I don't know if anybody likes any of their games in the chat. Let us know in the chat. Terry, do you like any Sega games?
Nope. I am not a child of Sega. No, I don't like any of their stuff. It's not for me.
She's definitely going to love the Sonic Halo crossover.
No. My husband, he's a huge Sonic fan, but other than that, I don't like any of this stuff. And I don't know, like Persona, it seems like they drop 20 Persona games every year. I don't know, it's like the most milk thing I've ever seen. I don't get the hype for Persona. It's just I don't know, but I don't know. They don't have anything for me.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna do this. Yes, I love their games. No, I hate their games.
We gotta get that poll ready. Get ready to click it.
Ready.
Get ready to click it.
Get ready to click away, guys.
click.
Yeah, and I agree. OCD Gamer, Sega didn't say that their stock would drop. Yeah, well, technically it wouldn't be Sega's stock; it would be Sammy's stock, because Sega is part of Sammy, corporation. Sammy owns them outright. So Sammy would actually lose some of their revenue if they sold Sega. So yeah. And let's see, now I don't play anything from Sega except Yakuza games. Hey, I played Yakuza Like a Dragon first time because I bought it for $25 when it first came out during Black Friday. And 120 hours later, I finished the game. So they're games. Doggy Dog's got the nostalgia. Virtual Fighter, Golden Axe. Boogeyman says, shout out to Boogeyman, by the way. Thank you so much for joining us. He says, the Sega games I like were in the past and mostly third party like Phantom 2040 and Vector Man. Hey, Vector Man was amazing. Streets of Rage, Panzer Dragoon. Yes, Panzer Dragoon. Hell, I'll take a new columns. It plays just like the old columns, except on Xbox. So yeah, DREADPOOL, would you like to see Sega get acquired? And do you like any of the Sega games? First off,
Yeah.
Like which ones?
Jet Set Radio Future.
No. Which ones that they're currently making? Don't give me that nostalgia.
Oh, well, come on now. Currently?
That's right. Current games that are being made.
I can't really say that I've played anything current when it comes to Persona 5.
Sega fans.
When it comes,
the past.
I just don't like Persona. I used to be into Yakuza. I've been trying to get back into it. I just haven't had time. But some of, like I said, some of them, most of them for me are in the past. So yeah, I've got a lot of nostalgia. But there are games out there. I just can't think of anything right off the bat.
So a friend of mine, what was his name? Oh, Jesus, I had his name in my head 2 seconds ago. Anyways, a friend of mine, him and I played Phantasy Star Online 2 together. And I was like, oh, the game's only released for a week. I'm like a level 10. He's already like a level 60 doing ultra combos, going on these incredibly hard raids. And here I am coming, I'm like making like 200 damage and he's dealing like tens of thousands of damage and I'm just collecting the loot, right? In these raids. I think his name started with a T. Who was he? Anyways, so I like the Phantasy Star series, and obviously I play Phantasy Star Online 2, which is free to play on Xbox, by the way. No Game Pass subscription needed. Just play it. I do like the Yakuza series. As I said, I played Like a Dragon, and I cannot wait to get that Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. That's going to be so awesome. I haven't tried the Persona series because I just don't want to play another RPG for 300 hours right now. That's the only reason why. I played Company of Heroes. I love my Total War, especially Total War Warhammer 2 and 3.
Oh, Streets of Rage 4.
Isn't that one leaving Game Pass here real soon?
I think it already left. And so is Total War Three Kingdoms, which I'm very sad about because I didn't get a chance to play it. I'm too busy. Too many other games, And Total War games take like 80 hours to finish. Like, you're not playing Total War for a little bit. You're playing it for a long time. And of course, I love me my Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers. Doggy still has to ship me his copy of Sonic Frontiers so I can play it. Let me know, Doggy. Let me borrow, buddy. Come on, let's you and I become like the game fly. I'll lend you some of my games, you lend me some of yours. We'll just ship them back and forth. I haven't played Sakura Wars. I know they also own that singer, Hitori, what's her name? Hitori Miko, something like that. So they own that. They own the initial D series. If you're getting into old stuff, Monkey Ball. What else did it go?
Did you ever play the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, I've never heard such a game.
Really?
No,
dude, it's
like an official Sega game.
Yes, what? They put it out there.
Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a point and click type of video game, like you can let's say something like what would they call it? Like a visual novel, I guess.
Okay, it's a 2023 game, point and click visual novel video game by Sega Social Team and published by Sega for Mac OS and Windows. Apparently, Sonic was murdered on Amy Rose's birthday. The game was released as freeware this year to coincide with April Fool's Day and was positively received. All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
People thought it was a joke, but they actually put it out there.
Wow. Wow. That's cool. That's cool.
So much of a Sega fan you are.
Some Sega fan you are. And of course, I've played it both Endless Space and Endless Legend. Endless Space, Endless Legend, and Endless Dungeon. Endless Dungeon of the Endless is so fun. It's like a tactical tower defense game. It's so fun. and it's hard. It's very difficult. So yeah. Streets of Rage, to CoolCatTerri's point, Streets of Rage did make a comeback with Streets of Rage 4, baby. I played the crap out of that game.
Available on Xbox.
That's right. Available on Xbox, baby. Dreamcast 5. So yeah, I would definitely love for Sega to get acquired. As a Sega kid and a true Sega fan, I only didn't hear about one April Fool's game. My bad. Okay. Yeah, I definitely would love it because I still play their games to this day and own many of them. Terry, we had a poll.
Would you want Xbox to acquire Sega? A very dirty 69% said yes. We love it. 20% are unsure and 10% hate their stuff.
Everybody's got their haters. Let's see. Dark Zone says a new Dragon Force game would be cool. Not the band Dragon Force 1 and 2 was on the Sega Saturn. Yeah, I remember Dragon Force as well. That would be awesome. It was kind of like a RPG Battlefield style game. It's on my list to get, but it's so expensive. I'm just sticking to emulation right now on it. A new single player RPG would be nice. Yes, I agree. Phantasy Star needs to come back. Doggy Dog says Streets of Rage 4 was awesome. Even had a setting where you could turn on the old music. That's right.
Yep.
OCD Gamer says never heard of any of their Dread. Yeah, nobody knows about the murder Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's see. Skies of Arcadia needs to make a comeback. Yes, I have that one too. And let's see. I'm not a fan of Sonic, but I think I love to play that Death of Murder Sonic game. And Metal Slug on Saturn was fun. Yeah, but that one was not by Sega. That was by someone else. SNK, I think it was. So yeah. So of course they considered buying Sega, but another developer they thought about acquiring was Square Enix. Of course, Square Enix now mostly known for their Final Fantasy series, and they do have some great franchises. Kingdom Hearts 3 came to the Xbox, which is for the first time. So that was fun, but we didn't get the Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 remake, so I guess that's okay. So Square Enix is next up on our list. Let me see who Square Enix currently has, because Tomb Raider to me was more valuable on Square Enix than anything.
Yep, I agree. I would want Crystal Dynamics over anything else.
That's what I was going to say. Crystal Dynamics was the one that really solidified Tomb Raider. So as long as they had it, I'm cool with it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Can I start this by release date? Oh, thank God. Okay. All right. So Square Enix, of course, known for Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Kingdom Hearts. Let's see. The Mana series. Front Mission. What else do we have? A bunch of Japanese anime stuff like Full Metal Alchemist. And let me think. That's about it. Romancing Saga. Yeah, that was a big one back in the day. So, yeah, this Square Enix, of course, being a pure Japanese developer. I mean, when you think of JRPG, Square Enix comes to mind 110%. So, would you guys want Xbox to bring Square Enix just to kind of stick it to Sony and be like, now we get Final Fantasy? Terry, what are your thoughts?
They don't have Crystal Dynamics. I don't really care that much about them anymore. I mean, I think it would be cool. I mean, if they could just kind of piece it out, I think that would work better. Kingdom Hearts, I mean, I do enjoy Kingdom Hearts. I didn't like the newest one, but I do enjoy Kingdom Hearts. So that'd be kind of cool if that, became something under Xbox's umbrella. But otherwise, I mean, I'm not a Final Fantasy fan, but my husband is, and he's very upset with what's been going on with him not getting all the new games. So I was thinking it'd be pretty cool if they could get access to that, but I personally couldn't care less if it's here or not, since I will never play them. But I mean, I don't know. Like I figured, I don't know. Like they don't really have much without Crystal Dynamics. They're, I don't. I don't care about them anymore.
There you go. So Terry doesn't want Square Enix. She wants Embracer Group to get Crystal Dynamics out from them.
Yeah, let's go buy Crystal Dynamics from Embracer, and then that'd be great.
That's right. And shout out to Mike Molis, the original Good Next Level Gaming. He says, "Good morning, gamers. Wanted to stop in real quick before we start heading over to the cruise ship. Dang, don't miss that ship, man. They will take off without you, Mike. Don't miss it. Have a good time. You better come back as dark as me. Otherwise, you didn't go on vacation. That's the rule." And Crazy Greek Dude joins us. Thank you so much for joining us, Crazy Greek Dude. We appreciate you. You are the real MVP. And let's see who else we got here. So far, so good. DREADPOOL. Square Enix was the other big company publisher on that list. What do you think?
I think Microsoft and Xbox need to be extra petty and go ahead and buy them.
Extra petty.
That's the way I would be. I'd be extra petty and be like, all right, here we go.
That's right.
No.
Final Fantasy VII plays best on Xbox now.
Only
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Only on Xbox.
Only on Xbox Game Pass.
And then say that their Japanese studios aren't making anything. Because I just think it's funny how the Western studios were horrible. They were losing the money. They sold them off because they weren't doing anything. And then you wonder, oh, well, let's see, you're only selling to a certain demographic. And there's another demographic that wants it. So, if I really wanted to be double petty, I put it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And then charge you PlayStation. But that's
raise the price to $80.
There you go. Well, they say that they want to pay more for games. If the game's good,
they're all rich.
They're willing to
they
pay
keep saying
for
to
it.
us Xbox gamers, if you're broke, just say so.
In the meantime, we're out here shopping for cars and deals and everything, and we're bragging about how much of a steal we got a car for, that we didn't underbid on a car to walk away with it, and yet they're willing to pay thousands more for whatever else. How many times you got a washer and dryer set and been like, yeah, save some money from Home Depot, or turn around and say, you know what, that's not enough money for that washer and dryer. Let me give you an extra $1,000 on top of that. Makes no sense.
No sense.
That's how I'm going to be double petty.
It's nonsense.
I'll charge them more.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? The best deal about getting Square Enix is that we would get Forspoken. That's right. Many people are saying that this is the game of the year, Forspoken, guys. Would you play Forspoken, Terry?
I don't know. I don't know.
I heard somebody call it Forbroken one day,
Yeah,
and I just about died.
I downloaded it, but I have yet to even boot it. I downloaded the demo. Let me clarify that. The demo, and I've yet to even boot it up.
Yeah, no. Forspoken looked cool. And then the more I saw of it, the teaser to Forspoken looked so good. And then the more that I was shown about it, the less I wanted to play it. And so by the time it launched, I had zero hype for Forspoken. Octopath Traveler, that's a highly critically acclaimed game, very much in the old style. I personally don't like it. I bought it. I bought into the hype. The FOMO got me. And it's one of those purchases I do regret. I wish I would have never bought it. So I did not buy Octopath Traveler 2 because I just did not like it.
It was on Game Pass.
Oh, I bought it way before it came on Game Pass. Way before, like a year before. I was already done playing it by the time you guys were talking about it on your podcast. Back when I didn't have podcasts. So yeah, Octopath Traveler comes there. I know a lot of people like it. It has great praise. But I did not enjoy it. Just putting it out there. I didn't care. The story didn't grasp me. I didn't care. So yeah, Dark Zone, Microsoft should just buy Embracer Group. Man, you know, Embracer Group is worth about half as much as it used to be.
That's what I was saying
That's
too.
true.
But here, okay, so let's go back to Tomb Raider, right? That's what I was saying was I think they bought them as a holding company because even with my company, we've been purchased as a holding company or by a holding company, so that way we could be sold off 90 days later to another company. And yeah, what do you think?
I mean, that's what they did with Tomb Raider. They sold the rights to Amazon.
No,
They
only for this one game.
Yeah, they licensed it out, I should say.
Yes, exactly.
And
They got a TV series coming too, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, Amazon is going to make the most out of that one tied license as they should.
But
without Crystal Dynamics and Tomb Raider, Square Enix lost about half of their value, and the reason is because as a primary Xbox gamer, I miss out on a lot. I don't even know what this is. Anybody know what this is? What game this is?
Looks like a vampire. I don't know.
Vampire lady.
Looks like a vampire.
I know that this is Final Fantasy Crisis Core, obviously because I played it. I know this is Kingdom Hearts. I think this is Power Wash Simulator. Am I right on that?
It's Power Wash Sim, yeah.
Yeah, and of course Nier Automata with 2B. I think that's her name, 2B. And Nier Automata, great game. This one, convoluted story as is just JRPGs are convoluted, and of course Final Fantasy. So I would want Square. If Xbox did acquire Square Enix, they'd have to bring all the Final Fantasies immediately, starting with Final Fantasy VII Remake. But does Square Enix hold enough value for me over Sega? I don't think so. I know that a lot of Final Fantasies sell on mobile, and they do well on mobile. But to me, it's more about what I get to play on my console, and because Square Enix has not catered to the Xbox gamer, I kind of don't hold them in high regard because I just have missed out a lot. Just being honest, we've missed out a lot. And Dark Zone says it's Outriders.
Outsiders. He corrected himself.
Outsiders?
Outriders.
I thought it was Outriders. Yeah.
Outriders.
Yeah. So
it's got to be from the expansion because
it might be. Yeah. And we played Outriders together, Dreadpool, you and I.
Yeah, we did.
When the connections were working. So yeah. If you do recall, we did play that. We got some frustration because of the connections and stuff. So yeah, it's I'm meh with it. Kind of don't care if they do, don't care if they don't. How does the chat feel, Terry?
Would you want Xbox to acquire Square Enix? 50% said yes, 50% said no. So it was an even split.
Yeah, and that's exactly my point. Like, do they have iconic franchises? Yes. But do I need them to be first party Xbox? And that's where the question lies. And it's kind of like, well, as an Xbox gamer, do I win or do I lose with them coming to Xbox? And it's hard to say you would win because we've been left out.
I think Final Fantasy is the only franchise they have that there's an outcry for Xbox gamers. Otherwise, I feel like people are indifferent about the rest.
Not true, because I outcried when 2B didn't come to Xbox. God, what is this name called? Now I lost. Why am I so blank today?
Nier Automata.
Yeah, Nier Automata didn't come to Xbox. And then when it did come to Xbox, it didn't get a physical release. And then it came to Xbox Game Pass, which was awesome. And then I bought it on discount just because I wasn't going to have enough time to finish it while it was on Game Pass. So Nier Automata, playing it on the cloud right now. It is not made for cloud. The letters are so tiny. I had to come to my big screen TV. And even on my big screen TV, the letters are like 14 font on a big 60-inch screen. I'm like, what the hell is going on here, man? How do I increase the font size? But gameplay-wise, Nier Automata is unique.
The other game people were clamoring about years ago was the Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And then finally when it did come out, they didn't do anything to improve.
It was more them clamoring for them to release the dang game. I didn't really hear any outcry for it being on Xbox. It was this people outcrying to release the dang thing because it took them 20 years to do that. So that was basically it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
they just wanted it. They didn't care. They didn't care where they had to play it. They just wanted it.
Yeah, and because it had been like 12 years since the last mainline entry or something like that.
Yeah,
but
and I agree with Dark Zone here. It says Microsoft buying Sega makes more sense than Microsoft buying Square Enix. Microsoft should buy Sega and Sony should buy Square. If Sony bought Square, I wouldn't cry.
It's already expected because they basically
already own them.
They already hold each other's hands so tightly. So
that's a polite way to put it.
Yeah, there's definitely a different way I wanted to say it, but Axel wants to keep this PG.
X's and O's, X's and O's. Yeah. I would be sad for Final Fantasy, but I'm already sad because Final Fantasy is exclusive to PS5. Now that doesn't bother me now because I have a PS5, but if I was a single or if my lifestyle was such that I either chose PlayStation or Xbox, and I chose Xbox and Square games only came to Sony, that would make me sad. It really would. But such is life. And when Sony buys a developer, they're going to take all their games exclusive. Nobody's going to be like, oh, we don't want you to do that because you're going to make them exclusive. When are you going to make all these multiplat? Sony can do it, but Xbox can't, which is a bunch of baloney. Hey, Jason Max joins us. He says, just remember, Xbox is number one. It sure is. By the way, guys, be sure to like and subscribe and share the show out. It really helps us. We got 14 people looking. Let's try to get that number up to 20. Share it out. Invite your friends. Tell your friends we're talking here and that we read what they type. You don't need to super chat in our shows. We will read what you type. And Back from the Dead says, I haven't heard good things about Broken. Broken. That's right. I have bought all the Final Fantasy games on Xbox. Yeah. Yeah, as you should. I think Doggy has a ton of them too. And the Nier games were good too. Absolutely. They were, Boogeyman. They were. Well, if Microsoft bought them, PC players wouldn't have to wait. Absolutely. Absolutely. Day and date on all things. And Square would help in the mobile space. Yeah, those Final Fantasies, the nostalgia. I have Final Fantasy, the OG, I bought it on my iPhone, and that's how I beat it. So yeah, they definitely do have a mobile presence. All right. So between the two, CoolCatTerri, which one would you prefer? Sega, who you don't prefer, or Square Enix, who you also don't prefer? This is the most unbiased opinion you will get here all day, guys.
I would take Square just because they at least have a small handful of games that I do enjoy. Mm-hmm. So I would take Square personally.
All right. She's a Square lady. DREADPOOL, would you prefer Sega or Square?
Blasphemy! Oh God, I can't believe this. No, I would get Sega.
Sega, yeah.
As double petty as I want to be, I would not just push Sega away.
Yeah, I would also do Sega as well. They just have more franchises that I like. And chat, let us know who you guys would prefer. Would you prefer Xbox acquire Square Enix or Sega? Let us know. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But we got some more people jumping in. We got Red Monkey Butt jumping in. He says, what's up, Xbox? What's up, Red Monkey Butt? Not much. What's up, Red Monkey Butt? We got Ice Cream Gaming joining us. Hey, Ice Cream Gaming, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Dark Zone says, I have a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and an OLED Switch and a gaming PC. I really don't want to miss out on any games. Dang. If you're looking for to adopt a child, I'm available. Dark Zone, just saying. Just saying.
Man child.
That's right, a man child. I will mow the lawn. I'll take out the trash. I'll do the chores. No problem. Let's see. I don't know if Microsoft can buy Square Enix. Where there's a will, there's a way, Ice Cream Gaming. I think Sony would pick up Square Enix. I'm actually surprised they haven't. Between you and me, I'm actually surprised they haven't yet. I'm just waiting for them to acknowledge it.
After they saw Microsoft's interested, they're like, "Oh, we better get it now."
That's right. Oh my God,
Well, they have it in their budget.
Jim Ryan's flying to Japan right now. I wish they would have brought the Pixel remasters to Xbox. Yeah, I agree. And shout out to Jim Ryan joining us here on the Iconic Video Games channel on Good Morning Xbox. He says, "You guys ready for the bad news next week?" I don't know about that. It could go either way, but I am prepared for both outcomes. If it gets approved, awesome. If it doesn't, okay. If status quo continues, right? I'm still going to be playing Diablo as I currently am. I'm still not going to be playing Call of Duty as I'm currently am not. So it's just a continuation of the status quo for me. And Darkstone says, "I take Sega because there are tons of games Sega has that are not that they are not even touching." Yeah. Doggy with the nostalgia 90 ad. Sega, welcome to the next level. That's right. If you remember those,
even if it meant, because I feel like a lot of people are saying Sega because of nostalgia. Even if it meant that they would never make any of those games, they would stick to the ones they do now, your Total War and your Personas, and that's it. You still would want them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Let's see. Sony has 98% market share. Sony might not be able to get Square. Yeah, they might not. Let's see. I played Final Fantasy IV Pixel Remaster for 60 hours. Dang, doggy. Dang. That's a lot. We won't let Microsoft buy Square or Sega. I mean, he's not lying. You know, the government funded PlayStation lawyers are out there. And Ice Cream Gaming says, "I just want this deal to be over with already."
Yes,
yeah, I'm ready for it to go either way.
We all do.
That's right. But it is about halfway between the topics here. Unless, hold on, let me make sure. Hold on. Do you guys want to talk about any of these other studios they were looking at? Because I mean, they were looking
Hazelight
at 505 Games, Annapurna, Devolver, Focus Home, Media, Paradox, Raw Fury, Team 17, whoever they are.
Focus would be amazing.
Ooh, Hazelight?
Hazelight.
Playtonic.
Isn't Hazelight part of PlayStation Studios now?
I don't think so. They're still indie, I think.
Really? Okay. I thought they were purchased already. Playtonic, okay. Let me see who else is on this list that I would love. Gearbox is there.
That one's bought though.
Yeah, by
Embracer.
So this list is quite old. Hello Games is there, the makers of No Man's Sky. Devolver Studios, they are a publishing house.
Larian would be good. I would love to see that.
What do they make?
Larian's the one that they're making Baldur's Gate 3. They made the Divinity games, and they are struggling to always get those on Xbox. So it would be great if they could just, get that Xbox support, man.
Yeah, that's right. I heard that Microsoft sent out their programmers to help them get Baldur's Gate running on the Series S.
Get Larian, man. We need them.
There you go. Techland
Games, yeah. What do they make?
Dying Light.
Okay.
They were the original one of the original studios working on Dead Island. So
okay.
The first Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide.
By the way, guys, if you see any studio here that you think that you think Xbox should get, list it in the chat, and a game they made that is well known, because I don't know every game that every studio makes. Obviously, IO Interactive making the Hitman games. Most studios I heard was on the list to be bought, but then they had some sort of giant harassment scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically got blacklisted by Xbox, so it must have been pretty major. And they're, of course, makers of Ori, one of my favorite games of all time. That's right, Terry. I said of all time.
Of all time.
That's right. Let's see. Who else do we have?
If they got Focus, that would give them a pretty big library.
Yeah, Focus, Home Interactive.
How about the Harmonix Music Systems?
What is it?
Harmonix Music System.
Are they on here?
Top left.
Oh my God, they are. Yeah. Makers of Rock Band. Doggy would love that. You got Relic Entertainment, who now is part of Sega. So yeah, this list is old. Roblox, which, by the way, exclusively on the Xbox. That's right, Jim Ryan. I said it. Roblox exclusively on the Xbox. So yeah, that's right. Let's see. Stardock. I recognize this game name, but I can't remember the game that they make. Studio MDHR, the makers of Cuphead, are on there. Supermassive is on there. I forget what they make, but I know I've played some of their games. Ooh, Tequila Works. That just sounds amazing. That's about all I have here. Let's check in with the chat. Let's see. Dark Zone agrees with you that focus would be great. Hell, Microsoft should just buy every studio on that list. I mean, they could.
Well,
they could, but
some of them.
you know,
There's one we missed, Asobo.
Yeah. I really think they need to lock down Asobo. Asobo has really been knocking it out of the park. Flight Simulator and everything else they worked on for Xbox other than Flight Simulator has been phenomenal. I really think they need to lock down Asobo. I feel like out of all these developers, not publishers, guys, developers, Asobo is probably the one they need to lock down the most. That's the way I feel. And of course, Doggy says Harmonix would be awesome. Yeah. If that's all the studios that we're going to talk about, Terry, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. It's time for Terry's Indie Spotlight, everybody.
Welcome back to the Indie Spotlight, and I got another gem for you guys. Now, this one that I'm going to be showing you is still in early access, so it's not fully out yet, but I wanted to give you guys a little taste of what there is so you can go ahead and add it to your wish lists. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Rain, you say? Void Train.
All right, guys, Void Train. Now, this is a survival FPS. You can play solo, or you can play up to 4 people. So you go ahead and check this out. Now, it has a Lovecraftian steampunk theme going on in there. And the whole point of it is you have to build your train so you can get through the void, and you get to control it as well. You get to update it, like upgrades and all that stuff. You're going to have different creatures across the void, some friendly, some that will help you build and get supplies, and some not so friendly. So, you know, some good action there. Right now, it's only in early access on Steam currently. It's a $30 game. They do have it part of the summer sale, so it's 15% off over there. Now, there are plans to bring it to Xbox. It's just they don't have a date on it yet. This game was first announced, like, I think 2 years ago via ID at Xbox. So there, you know, it's there. It's just I think they're waiting to get the game fully completed before they start making any plans to have a release date for the Xbox version. But go ahead and check it out if you want, or just add it to your wish list so when it does get fully completed, you can enjoy it. So there you have it, Void Train.
Void Train. I love trains, so so yeah, that one might speak to me just a little. Just a little. Great. another great indie spotlight from Terry, of course. Let's see. And moving on to the next bit of news. Let me put this over here so we can see it. Jim Ryan is in the chat, and what do you know? We're about to talk about Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan says this game looks like an Xbox first party game. If you mean fun, yes. The answer is yes. And OCD Gamer says, love my indies. All right. But Jim Ryan also said, Sony's PlayStation chief says publishers hate Xbox Game Pass. This is, of course, on day 3 of the FTC trial where he video recorded his interview. And let me see. So it was from review. It was from the video, and he says that he described Game Pass as value destructive to publishers. So there you go. Let's see. Xbox is for shooting things. Where's the quote? Where's the quote? Where is the quote? I can't see the quote. But anyways, he did say that publishers he's talked to have unanimously told him that they hate Xbox Game Pass. And you know, that made the news because publishers also came out on Twitter saying that, hey, you know, just so you know, we don't hate Xbox Game Pass. It's been great for us. So yeah, there you go.
I mean,
I talked to all the publishers. They hate Game Pass. There you go.
I feel like if they hated it, they wouldn't put their products on it. You know,
that's right. And he also considered Xbox as being value destructive. So let's talk about the first thing. Xbox publishers hating Xbox Game Pass. So this is almost backed up by Bobby Kotick himself. This statement, because Bobby Kotick does not intend to put any of the games on any subscription service. Terry, do you think that all publishers hate Xbox Game Pass?
No. No. There have been, since, you know, Game Pass has come out, there have been plenty of game devs and publishers who have talked about how good it has been to have it there. So no, they don't hate it. So I don't know. I feel like he's grasping at straws, you know, but I mean, I'm sure there are some that might not like it, you know? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can't please everybody. So, I mean, that's a given. So, I mean, but there have been plenty of companies who have come forward before he even made the statement that said that they, you know, have, you know, been grateful for Game Pass being a feature that they can take advantage of, especially like I know this is about publishers, but even like mostly like game devs, you know, they've gotten a lot of free publicity for their games and got a lot more of a player base thanks to Game Pass. Mm-hmm. So it has been a very good positive for them. And, you know, it helps the publishers too, because now they don't have to spend as much money on marketing. You know, more people are going to try their stuff that they're pushing. So it's good all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. So they hate Xbox Game Pass, but then he also says that Game Pass is value destructive to publishers. Basically that it brings down the value of their game. Not quality, he talked about value. Do you think Game Pass is creating a value destruction on video games, like people aren't valuing them as much as they should or have in the past?
You know, here's a thought. Back when we were kids, how many games are coming out? And we could only buy so many games, right? So for the most part, we'd only get 2 games a year, right? Birthdays and Christmas. And sometimes, you know, if we were lucky, we'd go to a friend's house that had all the games because they had parents with money that would just buy them whatever system and everything. So we'd be able to play there.
I had the garage sale specials, man. That's how I got my games. That's the only way.
And then as we got older, we were able to rent games from Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, and other mom and pop shops.
Gamefly, baby.
Right? So think about it. Think of how many games were out there as a selection. And then you think about how many games are out there now as a selection. What is actually devaluing games? The quantity.
Oversaturation.
Exactly.
Oversaturation.
So Game Pass, whether or not it's oversaturated, the industry itself is oversaturated.
Mhm.
So Game Pass at least is like Steam, where it's bringing attention to certain games, and with unlike Steam, it's only a select amount of games, and then they come in and go out, and you get a discount while they're in there, so they're not devaluing it. They're increasing the opportunity for money to be made off of these games.
Right.
These devs are making bank right off the start, just to put the games in there, right? And that's the deal that they make. So depending on how valuable Microsoft thinks, or Xbox thinks that the game is, would also determine on what kind of deal that the developer thinks they should be getting. And after that, it's all profit. So anything that's in there gets eyeballs out there, gets everybody's saying, well, now that I'm saving money as opposed to buying these $70 games, I can spend a little extra money over here to buy the smaller indies or some of these other ones, or buy the additional add-ons. I mean, a few of us bought Starfield's expansion, or the upgrade, right? The collector's upgrade, or whatever it's called.
Mhm.
But we didn't buy the actual game. We bought the upgrade for the game. So even though I didn't buy Starfield, I spent money on it already for the upgrade. So it's not devaluing games. It's again, it's the way you present yourself, and that's what he's doing. It's the what I call it, deceptive practices that Sony likes to pull. This is what he's doing. It's being deceptive.
Yeah. Do publishers hate Xbox Game Pass? I think some of the bigger ones might. I'm talking like Take-Two, Activision, EA, Ubisoft, probably because they have their own subscription services. Like I know Activision doesn't have one, but like Ubisoft has Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah, but EA is rolled into Game Pass now.
For now, yeah, which is fantastic. I love it. I play Madden off of that, even if it is a little late. But EA has their own subscription service, which is what is it called? EA Origin, I think is what it's called.
I thought it was like All Access.
All Access, that's what it is. All Access. Origin is their launcher. That's right.
Yeah.
Access. But like Activision Blizzard doesn't have a subscription service. Take-Two Interactive doesn't have a subscription service. And Bobby Kotick himself said that he doesn't like subscription services because he's seen how companies who have switched over to it have basically gone broke. So he doesn't want to put his games in subscription services. Now, of course, when he's part of Xbox Game Studios here, Jim Ryan, at the end of the week, he won't have a choice, right? Bobby Kotick will no longer be in charge of those decisions. Hopefully, he'll be gone. He'll take his golden parachute, retire with his hundreds of millions, and just leave us alone. I don't like Bobby Kotick. I think I've made it very clear on this show.
It's funny you say that companies have gone broke. Outriders.
Yeah.
They did very well, but Square Enix has said that they didn't meet expectations. So again, where is the expectations? Are the expectations oversaturated? Overinflated? Because every Western game that has come out of Square Enix has not met expectations.
Outside of Final Fantasy, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I agree with that statement.
Even Final Fantasy, even this last one, has not hit the expectations that they set.
Final Fantasy 16 sold 3 million in 5 days or something like that?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, all things considered.
That's also the reason why they didn't push it out for Xbox, because the numbers aren't there. Think about it. The numbers aren't there.
Times $70. I mean, they made 210 million. So they basically at $3 million, they broke even.
They easily could have made 5.
Yeah. They easily could have sold more on Xbox. Yeah.
It's just like Excel. You leave a certain item of information out, and it changes the whole picture.
Yeah. Square Enix, The problem with Square Enix, we can get off topic here, but the problem with Square Enix is they're only building an audience on primarily one console, and that is the problem. Like, oh, Xbox gamers don't buy Japanese games. Well, it's because you haven't built an audience there. But I can tell you that you could probably gain a couple of million more fans. Not 100%, but if they got 10% of the Xbox fan base, which would be what, 2 million, right? If they got 10% of the Xbox fan base, which I think there's 100 million active users, monthly active users, if I'm not mistaken, that launch an Xbox related gaming app every month and play something for at least 30 minutes. So 10% would be 10 million users. And out of that 10 million, if you get half of them that say, yeah, I want to buy this game because it's Square Enix on my favorite platform, that's more sales. That's more sales. That's all I'm saying, because it's not just about being a fan of the publisher. It's being a fan of the series. Square Enix, I like them, but I don't like all their series. Like, I don't care about certain things, but I do care about, Nier Automata. I care about Final Fantasy, but I don't care about other stuff, You can't love every game that everybody puts out. That's just the way it is. But back on topic, right?
Well, let's kind of it's back on topic, but yet off topic.
Yeah.
People Can Fly. They said they did extremely well on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Right? So if they did extremely well, but yet the publisher said did not meet expectations, who's lying?
Yeah, and from what I hear, People Can Fly and Square Enix. People Can Fly says that Square Enix hasn't paid them and stuff, so
exactly. So
they got their own problems right now.
Deceptive practices.
Yeah.
So if they're going to Game Pass and they're barely making it, whose fault is that? That's the deal that they made with Square Enix, and that's the deal that Square Enix made with Xbox.
Yeah.
So you got to put that into consideration. There's a lot of factors here. It's not just, if you go in here and all of a sudden you fail, well, why did you fail? What caused all this? So that's what I'm getting at with Jim Ryan saying that, this ain't going to happen. It is what it is. But you have to factor in a lot more than what they've been like leaving at the surface.
Yeah. So publishers hating Xbox Game Pass, I think a lot of them are just unattracted to it. But I know a lot of smaller publishers love it because it helps them get discovered. It helps their game be put in front of them, however many Game Pass subscribers there are. Let's just pretend there's 20 million, 25 million. I think the last number was the last official number was 18 mil. So, let's just pretend that number hasn't changed, even though it's 5 years old at this point. Let's pretend it goes in front of 18 million eyes. People are browsing that Game Pass library to find something to play, and they will try something. I've tried games on Xbox Game Pass. Some of them I loved. Some of them I'm like, nope. But that's just it. That's the beauty of Game Pass and the subscription service is discovery. And a lot of these young, smaller publishers are saying that their game is being discovered more because of Game Pass. Now, maybe a big time publisher with, like Final Fantasy, or Call of Duty, they don't need to be discovered. They're already discovered, right? So maybe the idea of being put on Xbox Game Pass is not attractive to them. And so that's why they don't like it. No, GTA does not need to be discovered. Obviously, right? So yeah, it's just, I think it depends on the publisher. But as far as it being value destructive, that statement, I think that is not a good statement because, well, hold on, let me think about it for a minute. If I have a big time game, Call of Duty, and I put it on Game Pass, I'm suddenly not going to sell as many copies of Call of Duty as I would have before because now people will get it on their subscription service. So I can see the value destructive statement for a big game, but I don't see it for every game. Right? So like, I don't know what's a game that wouldn't be value destructive. That's more medium tier. Flight Simulator. Okay, Flight Simulator. And yeah, I know it's a niche game. Every game is niche if you think about it, guys. But Flight Simulator has a ton of fans, and a ton more people got to try Flight Simulator, and Flight Simulator got to bring more fans into their franchise that probably would have otherwise ignored Flight Simulator, because Flight Simulator, the word simulator, especially Flight Simulator, is scary to some people. What if I don't like it? What if the game's too boring? As some people have said, all you do is fly. Some of us love that micromanaging of that flight, the little details of keeping the plane level, adjusting the ailerons, adjusting for the barometric pressure, so forth and so on, right? A lot of us love that, but some people may not like it. And we ended up becoming fans of Flight Simulator. I play Flight Simulator almost on a weekly basis now, and I've never played a Flight Simulator before. Well, no, I did play FSX, but like for 10 minutes and said, nope, too hard. But so that's like a bigger game that I discovered that thanks to Xbox Game Pass. And obviously the indie games are there, but like what's a bigger game you've discovered on Xbox Game Pass? Chat, let us know. Let me catch up with the chat while we do this. And Terry and Dreadpool, kind of think about that question too. Let us know a bigger game that you've discovered thanks to Game Pass. Let's see. I think Microsoft should remove games with gold. I think Microsoft should remove gold, period. I wouldn't call games with gold trash. Every now and again, they do put out some awesome games that I do enjoy and love. So I still collect every gold game that they have. Let's see. I have a PS Plus membership, and it helps me out a lot. Yeah, it is definitely there. Give me Game Pass Ultimate. That's cheaper. That doesn't include games with gold, please. No, keep it the way it is. But get rid of gold as a whole. Don't separate the services. I don't need a third Game Pass tier. Microsoft last first-party game on Game Pass has a 56 on Metacritic. Just saying. Yeah. What can you do? Not everything can be a banger. All right, moving on. Even NBA 2K3 last month was awesome. Yeah, 2K23. Yeah, that was good. Let's see. The huge games like GTA and Call of Duty doesn't make sense, but these are the best-selling games. Yeah, exactly. Those are the best-selling games of their respective genre. I agree with that. Here are a few companies that are not on that list that I would not mind Microsoft getting: EA, Take-Two Interactive, Capcom, Konami, WB Games, and Ubisoft. Capcom and WB for me off of that list. Jim Ryan says, speaking of GTA, we have GTA 6 marketing and exclusive content. Yeah, I'm 100% sure you have an exclusive car. I don't doubt it. And Doggy Dog, you don't know that. Jim Ryan, quit lying about things like that. Just like the Starfield physical disc last week. Oh, samples. Mate, I'm only right 99% of the time. Oh man, this is funny. This is turning out to be hilarious. Let's see. Even GTA and Red Dead Redemption 2 have been on Game Pass. That is true. And I do love me some Red Dead Redemption.
I don't recall it hurting either one, huh?
Yeah, that's right. And NBA 2K, yeah, being on Game Pass. Isn't Ubisoft Plus similar? It is, but it's just for Ubisoft games.
And it's expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Let's see. I'm not saying grab Grand Theft Auto for Game Pass. I'm saying grab the market in an exclusivity for it if this still falls through. They might already be under contract, guy. Just saying. Sony does make pretty ironclad contracts. The beauty of it is that the publisher has choices. Don't like Xbox? Go to Sony, Nintendo, etc. It's not as if they have to make games for one company over another. Yeah. And consumers do have choices too. Yeah. That is also true. Dark Zone says the ABK deal is going to pass, or Sony better hope it passes, because if it doesn't, I think Microsoft will go crazy and buy up half the gaming industry. I mean, why not? If it doesn't go through, Xbox should just get everything exclusive. And why not? Because that's the market the FTC said they need to compete in. And then that way. Why not? Right? Terry, have you thought about a medium or large game that you discovered because of Game Pass? Other than Halo, because we know you love Halo.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I honestly can't remember what it was called, but there was a game that I actually had on my as Indie Spotlight back, and that I only played it because it was on Game Pass, and I ended up really loving it. And I wish I could remember what it was called. But the game was the one where it was a co-op game, and you were playing as these kids who got like transported into like this other like world, and you had to do a lot of crafting, and you would make like these rails that you would use to transport, like slide around to other little islands so you can continue crafting. And you were going through the 4 seasons, and I, for the life of me, I can't remember what it was called, but it was fantastic. Yeah, I wish I could remember what it was called. But yeah, I discovered that game thanks to Game Pass, and I just had a blast with it.
All right, The Nameless Game by Terry.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what it was called.
Was it part of that trilogy?
No, it was a standalone game.
Okay. DREADPOOL, what's the medium to large size game that you have discovered thanks to Game Pass?
I'm drawing a blank myself. There is one game I would not consider medium. I consider small.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say I'm not addicted to it if that doesn't give it away. Vampire Survivors.
Yeah. Vampire Survivors, that game is phenomenal.
A lot of these other games I know of it or played, so there hasn't really been anything that, for the most part, as surprised me, I guess, that I found. So it's hard to say anything like that, because a lot of these titles that are in here, I know of them ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like something that I just found, other than Vampire Survivors was one of the ones that it was like, oh, people are talking about it. It looks stupid. Let me try it out. And then it's like, I am not addicted. I am not addicted. I am not addicted.
I'm not addicted. I'm not addicted. Just quit lying to yourself.
Yeah. I mean, but that, a lot of the games are stuff that I was already interested in and into. So it wasn't, I can't really say that there'd be a surprise one.
I see. Man, you guys got to get out of your comfort zone. Play some games. No, Game Pass to me is like a godsend. Every time I'm bored, I just go in there and play something. Doesn't matter what it is, I'll just play it because it's in there. Death Dealer says Goat Simulator. She discovered Goat Simulator because of Game Pass. And shout out to Eternal Shaddai for joining us. Good morning, Eternal Shaddai. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. And Clowns is in here. Oh, yeah. 4GQTV is in here. Shout out to Telling Clowns and 4GQTV for stopping by. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Be sure to hit that like button. It really helps us get discovered, guys. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Red Monkey Butt says, I discovered a Plague Tale on Game Pass. Yeah. I also discovered I hated a Plague Tale on Game Pass. So I played a Plague Tale on Game Pass. I thought it was going to be this godsend because everybody's like, oh man, the game's so phenomenal. It's so awesome. And I played it and it is the most boring game loop ever, but it had such a good story. I had to finish it because of the story. So gameplay loop sucks. I hate the stealth mechanic of it. I hated the fact that if you get seen even a little bit, boom, game over. The puzzles drove me crazy because I'm not used to stealth puzzles. I'm used to a different style of puzzle, and it just drove me nuts. I am not a stealth player, in case you haven't noticed. I love assassinating people, but I'm not a stealth player. But the story was great on A Plague Tale. I'll give you that. The story was phenomenal. I should play the second one to finish out what I'm doing, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can suffer myself through another crawling through the woods with my slingshot game. Just saying. Let's see. OCD Gamer says I would have never tried Flight Sim without Game Pass. Exactly. Same. And now I love Flight Sim. Yeah, me and OCD Gamer, we're on the same page here. Definitely. Let's see. Axel, you're just a chicken afraid of mice. That's funny. I love it. Yeah. So I played Nier Automata first on Game Pass, but I knew I wanted to play it. But that's another game I tried. I tried what is it? Crystal something. It was a smaller RPG on Game Pass. Played that. A game I do recommend to everybody is oh, what was it? What is the name of it? Something in the Curse of the White Witch. What is it? Curse of the White Witch. Let me see.
Talking about Narnia?
Well, White Witch. No. Ni no Kuni, the Ni no Kuni series. It's on Game Pass. You should definitely try it. Curse of the White Witch and Ni no Kuni 2 as well. Revenant Kingdom. It's amazing. Believe it or not, Ni no Kuni. It starts off real slow, and I do mean real slow, guys. But man, does it pick up? I don't have it downloaded, but I have it. Eternal Shidai or Doggy Dog for Ni no Kuni. Sorry, not Doggy Dog. And Eternal Shidai Ni no Kuni. Yeah, he knew it. Yeah. I discovered that game on Game Pass. I read all about it. It's an original PlayStation 3 title. Been ported now to everything, but it is available on Game Pass. You should definitely try it. Is there a game on Game Pass you wanted to encourage someone to play there, Terry, that you would loved?
There was the one, I don't know if it's still on there, but I think it was Generation Zero.
Yeah, Generation Zero. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. I do recommend that one. If it's still on Game Pass, that's one that people should play with friends before it goes away. It was good.
All right, there you go. Generation Zero. DREADPOOL, anything from third party, not Xbox branded, because it will be on the Game Pass forever, but something that could possibly go away on Game Pass. So you want to recommend to the audience to play?
Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Survivors. Play it, guys.
I mean, don't play that one. You'll get addicted, which I'm not.
Vampire Survivors. And let's see, State of Decay 2 from Doggy Dog, but of course that is first party now. But yeah, State of Decay 2, fantastic game. I loved it. Juggernaut Edition. I love that game. Jim Ryan over here with the jokes. Sounds like you guys can't name many amazing games you found on Game Pass. I have found them, actually.
Problem is, I can't remember the names of all the games I've found on Game Pass. I can't remember the names.
Many. We don't know what they're called anymore. They all mix together into one giant, awesome gaming memory. Let's see. I played the first Ni no Kuni, and that game is special. That game has a collaboration with Studio Ghibli. I love Studio Ghibli's movies. Yeah. Dragonheart Yobi joins us. Shout out to Dragonheart. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. And let's see. We want Terry. Terry just finished her in the spotlight. Dragonheart, you missed it. So yeah, definitely play Game Pass. There are lots of games to discover, and like I said, you should definitely play Ni no Kuni. All right, let's. Oh, hold on. I had a poll. Terry, we had a poll.
Do publishers hate Game Pass? 61% said maybe some. 22% said no, they all love it, and 16% said yes, all of them love it.
All of them love it?
So 61% are maybe, because can't please everybody.
All right, there you go. So there you go. Game Pass is good for us, the consumer especially. I know I love Game Pass. Shoot, I love any subscription service that gives me games at a good price. And right now, the best price is Game Pass. All right, let's move on to our last and final topic of the evening, and that is Sony. Jim Ryan, it's your fault. It's your fault you're not getting Starfield. So, the Verge, again, from the hearing, FTC hearing, we found out that Microsoft bought Bethesda to compete. And that's because Sony was making Deathloop exclusive. They made Ghostwire Tokyo exclusive. And there were rumors that they were also going to make Starfield exclusive. And Sony, and you know what? Phil Spencer activated his inner Batman, his inner Bruce Wayne, and bought the whole company, the whole shebang. You know, kind of like that scene in Batman v Superman. He's like, "Oh, how'd you get the house back from the bank?" He goes, "I bought the bank." You know, it's one of those situations where it is 110% Sony's fault that Bethesda got bought by Microsoft. Way to go, Sony! Way to shoot yourself in the foot there. But I don't know. For some reason, when I heard this, I'm like, "That's what you get." In my head, I'm like, "That's what you get. That's what you get when you poke the bear." Because you know you can poke the bear for so long, but once the bear gets the, Phil Spencer managed to convince Satya it's a new regime, a new way of doing business, and he managed to convince Satya to invest in gaming, to go all in. And that should have been your first warning sign that, whoa, Microsoft, that now Xbox finally has some money. You saw them buy 5 studios in 1 year, and then 2 more, and then they bought Bethesda. That should have been your first sign that, maybe we need to play a little nicer. But no, Sony has done everything but play a little nicer. They've actually doubled down even more since then. So pressure from, in order to remain relevant in the gaming market, Xbox has started the acquisition spree, and the biggest one being Bethesda with what a lot of people are calling the most exciting game in 20 years, Starfield coming out. Terry, this is Sony's fault. Do you agree?
Wait, Sony's fault for what? Oh, the exclusivity?
That Xbox started acquiring publishers, because before I thought they were just going to acquire studios, and then suddenly publishers came on the table.
I would say yes, because Sony is the leader when it comes to the competitive market for the console space. So they're going to define how the market works. Mm-hmm. So if anyone else wants to stay relevant, then yeah, they're going to have to, do what they can to compete. So yeah, that's that, so yeah, it makes sense. So, they would have to, because Sony, is known for having the better exclusive titles, which is debatable. They're going to have to compete, and getting these publishers is the easiest way for them to compete, to get more games on their list that they could make exclusive so they can continue to compete. So yeah, it would definitely be the competitor, the lead competitor, force them to do the same thing so they can continue to compete. So yes.
Yes.
So yes.
So they bought Bethesda to stay competitive, and they're saying that they're buying Activision Blizzard King to start breaking into the mobile market, something PlayStation really hasn't done with their first party. Do you think that ABK is more of a preemptive move or a reactionary move like Bethesda was?
That one, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I don't know with that one, because Bethesda already has some pretty big stuff to where they would be able to continue to compete with that. So to go and try to get ABK, I don't know if that was reactionary. That it might have been, but I don't know. It might have just been them trying to make sure that maybe it might have been, because they still wouldn't have had it. Even with Bethesda, it wouldn't have. That would allow them to play catch up, but it wouldn't have been enough to pull ahead. So yeah, I think they would need the ABK to help them trying to get, further up on that chain, So yeah, it might have been, a reaction.
There you go. All right, a reaction. DREADPOOL, did Sony cause the acquisition spree?
Oh yeah, they did. Here's the thing.
Yes.
All right. You want to be able to compete. And if you're getting locked out of everything between games that you do have access, not being able to go to Game Pass, you have games that you have no access to. I wonder why, because you're being locked out of it. So what do you have? You have to do something to stay alive, right? So if someone's pulling you down to drown you, what are you going to do? You're going to kick even harder to get that air, to stay above the surface. So this is the same situation. They did this on purpose to snuff them out, like they did with Sega. Granted, Sega didn't help themselves either,
Right.
but they're doing this on purpose. When you have clauses for game publishers to put games on your console,
Mhm.
but the clause is you cannot put that game on another console or on another console's online service or
Subscription service.
subscription service, then yeah, it's a direct response. So you're supposed to do that, and here's the beauty of it, right? The Google rep that was on in the courtroom that was on the hot seat.
Yes.
Why did they fail? They didn't have content. They failed to secure enough content to keep Stadia up and running.
Mhm.
Right? Jim Ryan acknowledges that Starfield being exclusive is not anti-competitive. He doesn't like it,
Right.
but it's not anti-competitive. He's even saying it's not. So
Mhm.
he's saying that this is part of the how you do business is you lock this stuff out from others so you can stay alive. And that's how they've been staying in the number one spot for so long. They've been locking out others. So for Xbox to do the same, what's wrong with that? It's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Even Jim Ryan specifically said that in his testimonial. So again, for them to buy it, they were going to get locked out. So what do? Do you let somebody put their foot on your head and push you underwater? Or do you grab their foot and yoke them into the water so you can get out of the pool?
Yes.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yes.
And same thing with Activision. They're going to be doing the same thing here, trying to get more content so that way they can stay out and dry off. So for them to do this, they already knew that Starfield was potentially going to be exclusive to PlayStation. Well, they've already lost 2 other games that people were looking forward to.
Yes.
And buying them, it opened up the accessibility for others, across all the platforms to be able to play this stuff. And Starfield would have been another one of those games that would have been locked out, but now is open to many more people. Granted, being exclusive to Xbox platform, it still opens it up to PC, where Sony does not like putting stuff out on PC right away.
Yeah.
So your chances of Starfield anywhere else, even on PC, would be
Non-existent.
non-existent or slim to none.
Yeah.
We probably, if it was enough, we would probably see it in another 5 years.
Yeah. I fully agree with everything you said. Sony bullied their way into the industry, and they bullied their way to their position that they are now with exclusives. Because when you think of PlayStation 1 and first party, the only first party game I can think of from PlayStation is Gran Turismo. That's it. When people think PlayStation 1, they think Final Fantasy, third party. They think Metal Gear Solid, third party. Almost every game that made PlayStation a household name was a third party game. They didn't really have a strong first party studio. Now, that's not the case now. PlayStation fixed that in the PlayStation 3 era, and they have a strong first party studio, but they still were doing these third party deals, making everything exclusive. And a competitor has to do something. You can't, and Xbox, Phil Spencer said they're not in the business of out counseling Sony. They're not going to win. So they can't buy all these exclusives like Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, without being crucified. So they had to change the name of the game, and the change they went for was, well, we're just going to buy the IPs and the studios outright. So they definitely reacted to what was being done to them by PlayStation as a whole. Deathloop, even after they bought Bethesda, Deathloop didn't come to Xbox for a year. Ghostwire Tokyo just now hit Xbox like a few months ago. And now finally Starfield is coming, and it's going to be an Xbox exclusive, and everybody's crying, Anakin. Whatever. Spare me your tears. If you want to play Starfield, as Doggy said, where's what Doggy said? play it on your $4,000 PC that you all say you have, or get an Xbox, buy an Xbox Series S. It's only $250 right now, about to be $350 with that terabyte edition, so yeah, I think that this is a response to what was being done for them in order for them to remain viable and competitive in today's market. Exclusive content sales, Disney Plus has proven this. They went out and bought all those studios before they put out Disney Plus, their service. And that's exactly what Xbox is doing. They started Game Pass, and now they're going out and buying all these studios to put it on Game Pass for their service. That revenue stream to keep it coming. And by the way, guys, be sure to renew before in the next 15 days or so before it goes up. It's one of those situations where, where you strike back at the bully, and everybody the bully is so shocked he doesn't know what to do other than to cry about it. And that's what's happening here. Jim Ryan doesn't want a Call of Duty deal. He wants the deal to fall through. Because Jim Ryan, of course, is interested in protecting the status quo. Right? Where PlayStation's on top, PlayStation dictates the market, PlayStation gets the best deals because they have the better player. They got the higher user base on console, so they get better exclusivity deals than Xbox. Like, everybody knows, I don't think it's an industry secret anymore that Xbox has to pay more for exclusivity deals than Sony does for the exact same deal. So it's one of those situations where, we could keep paying more, or we could just buy these studios one time and never pay for it again, and gain the benefits of having all their games, all their IPs under our umbrella, and all their future IPs under our umbrella. That's it. That sounds like a good deal to me if I'm Xbox. Especially when Big Daddy Microsoft is paying the bill. And, everybody's all like, oh, well, the Xbox didn't buy it with Xbox money. Xbox doesn't have money. I think people need to stop thinking that Xbox has money. They don't. Microsoft has money. I'm sure that when Xbox employee, some Halo developer gets their paycheck, it's not signed by Phil Spencer. I'm almost 100% sure that's, somebody from Microsoft signing that check. So this whole idea that, this Xbox has all this money. Xbox doesn't have money. Microsoft has money, and Microsoft owns Xbox, and Microsoft is taking care of their division for now. And there were many years when they didn't, right? So this is the best time to be an Xbox gamer, in my opinion, because we're finally getting what we've always wanted Xbox to do, and that's to have some more fight in them like they did when they first came in. Like, if you're an older gamer like we are, when Xbox first came into the industry, man, they came in with a fury. I mean, they took Halo away from Steve Jobs from Apple. I mean, that's ballsy. They took it away from.
They also
Steve
changed
Jobs.
it.
And
Yeah,
changed it, yeah.
They changed it too. So even though your what you see as Halo wasn't the original Halo that Steve Jobs was going to get.
Yeah, Steve Jobs was going to get more of a Halo Wars Halo. So yeah, because if you're old enough to know Xbox and the Xbox or OG Xbox and Xbox 360, I mean, Xbox was very cutthroat about the way they did business. They were very aggressive. They hit back. They didn't just give what was taken to them. They took, I'm sorry. They didn't just accept what was given to them, the leftovers. They reached out and took. And then, that long Meyerson reign that should have ended as soon as it started was awful for us. And now Xbox is finally hitting back again, and people don't know what to think. But I'm glad they are. And yeah, this is a response to what has happened in the gaming industry, between Sony and Nintendo, what they were able to accomplish while Microsoft was under the Meyerson years, the Meyerson depression. That's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it the Meyerson depression, like the Great Depression. It's much better in my opinion for Xbox gamers and in my opinion for gamers as a whole, because as a gamer, you should care about how you can play the most games for the best amount for the least amount of money. And right now, Game Pass is looking better and better every day. And if they get a Activision Blizzard, it's going to look even better. I mean, Call of Duty, the number one game in the world right now, is going to come to Xbox Game Pass. Yeah. So any other thoughts, guys? No. All right. Let's check in with the chat. Let's see. Xbox was underfunded for years, so I'm not mad at them buying things. Yeah, absolutely. Hi-Fi Rush. How could I forget that one? One of the best games I've ever played this year. That's right. Game Pass. That one's on Game Pass, but that one's first party, doggy. I did say third party. But I mean, some great third party games. You got Plague's Tale. Obviously, we already talked about that one. You know, you have Persona on Xbox. Power Wash Simulators on Xbox. I know people really like that one. Turtles. How could I forget about the Ninja Turtles, right? Shredder's Revenge. You got some of the Assassin's Creed games. Vampire Survivors, obviously. What else is on there? Among Us is on there. Yep. Tetris Effect is on there. So you got lots of great third-party games on Xbox. Let's see. I required Baldur's Gate 3 to come out September 6th on PS5. There you go. That's right. Baldur's Gate 3 is trying to move away from that Starfield because they saw that direct and they had to change. Let's see. I've seen all the PS fanboys cap for that game like they'll actually play it. You know, if they do play it, great. If they don't, it's fine too. Baldur's Gate is for a very specific audience like me and Terry. Let's see. And OCD Gamer, like what you were saying, Dread. He says facts, Dread. Let's see. Baldur's Gate 3 not being ready for Xbox was strategic. I gave our gamers an RPG to play the same day as Starfield launches. Yeah, that's very strategic of you. I think you do definitely need to counter. You know, tit for tat should always happen. Should always happen. Let's see. Sega went third party because they couldn't keep up with Sony having so many games. You know, Sega, half of it was Sony, the other half was Sega. Sega kind of did half of it to themselves. They tarnished their own reputation. We're talking about the Muffin Man again. Let's see. Sony should have known this would happen sooner or later. If you keep taking games away. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I'm sorry, I've been trying to think about what the heck that game was. I still can't remember. But I just remembered one of the biggest games that, you know, that we all pretty much loved that was on Game Pass. And we played it because of Game Pass, and that was The Ascent. Like, literally, I feel like most people wouldn't have even touched that if it wasn't for Game Pass. Yeah,
The Ascent. I played that one. I'm still playing through it with my cousin. It gets more fun the more you play through it. And a well done cyberpunk style game. Let's see. Bethesda is why I chose Xbox, to be honest. Hey, welcome to the family. Let's see. If ABK is blocked, expect that list to be checked off for purchases. Let's see. It is possible that a judge will side with the FTC, but I think she will side with Microsoft. Let's see. Streets of Rage 4 was in Game Pass. That's right. That's right. And let's see. And shout out to Koredi Oguremi. Sorry, I butchered your name. Koredi Oguremi. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. He says, you're right. As soon as Sony PlayStation entered that game industry, they knew this will catch up to them. It's the reason why Microsoft Xbox stepped into the gaming business to put Sony PlayStation in their place. Oh.
Yeah, they were going after the PC market.
That's right. They
Bill
actually
didn't like
came
that.
in. Yeah, go ahead.
I said Bill Gates didn't like that when he heard that they were going into the PC market.
Yeah, and I also know that Bill Gates didn't want Sony to rule the living room, which is why he put the Xbox out there. So, yeah. And shout out to Web Dave. He joins us as well. Thank you so much, Web Dave. We appreciate you. He says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Web Dave. We appreciate you. Be sure to hit that like button. It really helps us get discovered. And Lost Boomer says, hi, awesome panel. Hi, Lost Boomer. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to hit that like button. It helps us get discovered, especially on the live feed. All right, let's go ahead and end this poll. I think we've had it on there for long enough. Terry, what were the results of the poll?
All right. Did Sony make Xbox buy Bethesda in ABK? 81% said yes, they played dirty. 12% said no, Xbox is greedy. And 6% don't give a crap. I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah. You know, when you're the leader, Sony, and you dictate the market and someone is coming in to disrupt what you do, I can see why you would hate it. But you know, it's not our fault you didn't think about it. You know, not Xbox's fault you didn't think about Sony Game Pass. That's right. And what a great title for a service, Game Pass. Just rolls off the tongue. Let's see. Let me see what else we got going on here. All right. I think that's gonna do it for this evening's show, or this morning's show. Again, thank you so much to all the chat for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. We are going to go ahead and get out of here. But before we do, guys, we want to let you guys know in the chat that the chat, will always be the MVP to any of the shows we do here on the Iconic Video Games channel. With that being said, we're going to get out of here. I'm Axel1324.
And I'm CoolCatTerri.
And good morning or good evening. I am still DREADPOOL.
Bye, everybody.